To keep a nation moving and growing, change must become a constant element. As our government looks towards a future where lives can be better impacted, many transformative initiatives are taking place, with Jamaicans eager to make an even better impact. Today's magazine features one of those Jamaicans helping to build the public sector and transformative initiatives in the country. I'm Theodore Henry, and welcome to One More Day with the Jamaica Magazine team.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, August 24. Government and the private sector have inked a deal which will see more low-cost homes being built under the new social housing program, NSHP. A Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, was signed yesterday between the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation and ARC Properties Limited. The houses, which will be constructed with prefabricated material, will be delivered in a reduced time and cost, ranging from 17% to 22% less, based on the size of the units. Kinetic Engineering Limited will be designing the houses. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says with further partnerships and reinventions, he is optimistic that the NSHP housing cost can be reduced to $3.5 million.
The beauty of the project is having garnered the experience and refine the processes, we can now scale up the learning. And a part of scaling up is getting more partners on board.
At no cost to the government of Jamaica, we are patriotically proud today to be contributing to the upliftment of the Jamaican people in this manner, and we will continue to be a good Jamaican company and a sterling partner for all social and economic and national upliftment programs.
Other members of the private sector are being encouraged to get on board.
This is definitely a step in the right direction. I believe private sector entities ought to support this program because when we alleviate the inequities through providing adequate housing solutions to our citizens, this will foster equitable and inclusive growth of our economy.
Residents in and around Marvelly and St. Andrew will soon get an upgraded green space. This follows Tuesday's groundbreaking for a park in the area. The Marvelly Park, which is expected to be completed in a year's time, is being renovated by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, and the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. During his address, Prime Minister Andrew Holness gave instructions for safety measures to be built into the park's design. Mr. Holness also called for fair usage of the infrastructure to suit the varied interests and needs of the community.
Because we know what happens in some communities. Only one set of persons take over the infrastructure and use it for their benefit, to the peril and detriment of everybody else. So the KSAC must ensure that there is proper management of the park. Yes, you can keep parties there, but yes, we have to keep something for the children. Yes, we have to keep the flower shows. Yes, we have to keep the art exhibition so that there is variety and diversity.
The Marvelly Park upgrading is part of efforts to build out and renovate public green spaces across the island. 16 parks are being built or revamped over a 2-year period by the Ministry of Local Government, with plans to add even more in the coming years. The recreational areas will be maintained by the Parks and Gardens Division of the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
When you have these spaces for persons to come into and to leisure and to enjoy and to interact, and to take family and to just come into these spaces. It's an important aspect of the quality of life we have within the municipality.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has reiterated government's intent to improve Jamaica's built environment in an orderly and structured way. He says plans are in place to re-engineer and redesign Washington Boulevard and Spanish Town Road, which are the western entrances to Kingston.
Those two corridors have to be developed. And I'm going to say this. The re-engineering and the redesign is not only for the efficiency of the traffic, which a lot of it will be, but for the aesthetics.
Those plans complement the building of a major park in each parish. Already, the Harmony Beach Park in Montego Bay is operational, and ground will soon be broken for Resilience Park in Portmore. In other news, the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA, has now programmed the immigration kiosks at the MBJ Sangster International Airport to process the C5 declaration forms. This immigration or customs declaration must be filled out by all travelers to Jamaica before passing through customs at the airport. Minister of Transport and Mining Audley Shaw says the kiosk service is expected to be fully operational by the end of September.
This is significant because it will divert a significant number of passengers from submitting the manual forms at the immigration counters.
Minister Shaw was speaking at a recent immigration and customs tour at the Sangster International Airport. He says the Airports Authority of Jamaica, AAJ, will collaborate with PICA and the MBJ to procure and install 15 additional immigration kiosks by December of this year. This will move the total number of kiosks from 45 to 60. PICA and the MBJ are also to collaborate on other areas, such as signage, announcements, manning levels of immigration officers, and customer service staff to help improve the flow of service at the airport. As the new academic year fast approaches, students are being urged to abide by the safety protocols at their schools. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the appeal Tuesday as he reminded that the island was still battling COVID-19 and dealing with a handful of monkeypox cases.
I would still encourage you to pay close attention to the various protocols that are in place, because even though we are almost back to normal, we still have to ensure that the public health standards are maintained so that we don't fall back into any challenges.
Mr. Holness was addressing Tuesday's Primary Exit Profile PEP Award ceremony for children of staff members attached to the Office of the Prime Minister and Office of the Cabinet. And finally, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, HFJ, is hosting several public awareness activities as it continues the observance of Cardiopulmonary Resuscitation CPR Week 2022. Director of Emergency Cardiac Care at the HFJ, Dr. Hugh Wong, says on Saturday, August 27, the foundation will host a family and friends CPR course at its offices.
The course is 3 hours and will be taught by our in-house CPR team. This course does not require an exam or pass an exam. It's strictly skills-based, and it's pretty easy to learn, and I encourage everybody to come out.
Dr. Wong was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. CPR Week 2022, which runs through to August 28, is being observed under the theme, Let's Push Start the Heart, Give CPR. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Prime Minister hands over 6 social houses in St. Anne, names Montego Bay Road in honor of Tony Hart, and
we are restructuring the NHT to ensure that it is building houses for those who are in what we consider working class, low income, and looking for affordable solutions.
You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Vaughn Davis. Prime Minister Andrew Holness was in St. Anne recently, where 6 families received 2- and 3-bedroom homes through the new social housing program NSHIP. The families hail from Cave Valley, Bamboo, Sturgetown, Goshen, and Retirement in the parish. Mr. Holness reiterated that accountability measures were in place to ensure that every dollar allocated to the NSHIP would go towards the neediest families across Jamaica.
We always try to make sure that things are fair. So a part of the fairness is to ensure that there is no corruption, that the projects operate on time, that they follow the procurement guidelines, that all the funds are accountable, and that the beneficiaries are deserving.
Among the recipients was Jennifer Finnegan, who lost her home to fire.
Words can't express how much I'm grateful to you and everyone who has helped me through my difficult times. I love you all.
Tamara Williams, who received a 2-bedroom dwelling, was also appreciative of her new home.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, really, really appreciate it. And thanks to Mr. Andrew Holness and Member of Parliament Krista Lee and Mr. Hill and the rest of the team.
While in St. Anne, the Prime Minister disclosed that the newly implemented interest rate policy at the National Housing Trust (NHT) would ensure fairness in the distribution of home loans. Going forward, income will be the sole determinant to access loans from the NHT, which once had special rates for certain groups such as the disabled and public sector workers.
So that people who sell in the market, the domestic helper, the mechanic, your barber, the shopkeeper can also get an NHT benefit. So you notice what the government has done therefore. The government is not just looking for one set of people. The government is ensuring that the benefits that it gives covers everyone in the society.
Still in St. Anne, the Prime Minister visited the family of Antria Rattray, her 13-year-old son and 50-year-old common-law husband. The three were found with chop wounds and their throats slit at their home in Freehill in July. Mr. Holness reiterated the government's commitment to providing the family with counseling support.
Tony was a visionary. He was a philanthropist, a humanitarian, described as a serial entrepreneur, but I would say a successful entrepreneur, and a patriotic Jamaica.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness gave those remarks in Montego Bay on Friday as he opened the renamed Southern Cross Boulevard, renamed the Tony Hart Boulevard. Mr. Hart was instrumental in the development of the Montego Bay Free Zone, where the roadway named in his honor is located. In addition to the expansion of berths and the construction of global services, Prime Minister Holness disclosed that more development was planned for the Montego Bay Freeport area, among them the redevelopment of the roadway.
The Port Authority has acquired the green areas separating the lagoon and the roadways and is committed to maintaining and developing this area in a way which is environmentally sustainable while allowing for new attractions and entertainment along the boulevard. Ideally, the development will take the form of one or more public-private partnerships.
A recipient of the Order of Jamaica, Tony Hart passed away on August 20, 2020. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
We now feature one of the many Jamaicans who are helping to build an effective public sector through his work with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dunstan Bryan.
Hi Dunstan, I see you starting your day right. How are you?
I'm good, I'm here, I'm alive in this very, very interesting time in life, and I'm happy to be here leading and navigating through what is one of the most challenging times in the history of this country.
What are your morning rituals?
My morning rituals are like everyone else, I get up, I give thanks, I engage with my family, and I ensure that I link with that philosophy that says, "Thy will be done."
What song is a must on your morning playlist?
I'm Roman Catholic, and one of my favorite hymns is a hymn that repeats Jeremiah that says, "We are called to act with justice. We are called to love tenderly. We are called to serve one another and walk humbly with God." I'll catch you later.
All right. In one sentence, tell us what you do.
I am the accounting officer for the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
most difficult decision for you this week?
Boy, the most difficult decision for me this week was the decision that I had to make to reduce staff complement, because after COVID, some persons who were employed for the COVID engagement, we had to terminate their contracts. And it was sad to see a lot of them go because they were so important to the overall implementation of the COVID campaign.
Do you feel that you inspired or motivated anyone last week?
Yes, I believe I have inspired my team. Morning, everyone. Morning. Morning. And I believe that the other colleagues that I engage with in terms of the regional directors, the regional technical directors, we had very robust meetings over the last couple of days around the budget, and we are inspired to work.
Has anyone or anything made you feel inspired lately?
Yes, I am inspired by the team of persons that I work with here. My special assistant, who gives me all the support that I need. My policy analysts that are assigned to my office, they are such an important part of the work that we do here in the executive office.
What's your proudest career moment to date?
My proudest career moment is working at the PATH program, where every decision that I made during my tenure there impacted the lives of so many people. If it were just improving the payment access or increasing the number of persons that got the benefit, or it could be the opportunities that we gave to young people to change their lives through active labor market interventions. Those were very, very proud moments in my life as we impacted and transformed so many lives, especially when we talk about the persons who come from PATH households and receive so many accolades in terms of their academic achievement.
What would you like your legacy to be in the public sector?
My legacy will be a change agent, and I want to be a person who sets the foundation for the reform that is so well needed in the public sector. I know that I myself will not be able to achieve all of the changes, but to set the foundation so that the baton can be passed to the next set of leaders coming into the public sector, and they can take it and transform this bureaucracy into a system that provides a lot of support for the people of this country.
Where's the most interesting place your work has taken you?
Ethiopia. I remember working with the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, and under that project we went to Ethiopia to experience what community intervention and enablement looks like. And that was a very powerful experience to see that country move through some of the most challenging times of its history and come on the other side of history looking far more robust and far more sustained and resilient.
What are you working on that you are excited about?
There's a lot of things that I'm working on that I'm very excited about. One of the major things that I'm excited about right now is the intervention to improve and expand our cancer treatment program in Jamaica by ensuring that in terms of radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and other services relating to cancer, we can provide support to people who get this devastating diagnosis, and we can provide the help for a very catastrophic financial hit that families get and enable them to live fruitful and beneficial lives even after coming out of this traumatic experience.
And before we go, can you recommend one book you think everyone should read?
My book of transformation is The Children of Sisyphus by Orlando Patterson. It's a tale of a woman who lived in Dungle, which was what Tivoli was called, and she came out of the Dungle, became a little bit empowered, but then her poverty brought her back straight to the Dungle. So it's an experience of what poverty is and how poverty captures your mental capacities and can disable you. if you are not careful and if you do not understand that poverty is a sickness of the mind.
All right, thank you so much, Dunstan.
Sure, later.
Have a good one.
Yeah, man.
As part of your child's back-to-school preparation, be sure to download the TravelPal app on their mobile devices, especially if they'll have to use public transportation at some point. The app represents one of those transformative initiatives coming out of the Ministry of Transport to engineer safety mechanisms for public passenger users. Here are the details.
There's this vast yet ever-growing network of connected things, causing meaningful disruption even in the transportation industry. And that's the Internet of Things. Beyond your ride-sharing services, scheduling and routing company vehicles, or the cashless bus and rail services, life-changing technological advancements are engineering safety features and interactive designs to improve the transportation experience. Life-changing technological innovations, such as the TravelPal app, is one way through which the Transport Authority is revolutionizing the industry of movement.
The TravelPal application is an application used or developed, I should say, to empower the commuting public to know that they're entering into a licensed vehicle by the Transport Authority. That's it in a nutshell. To know if it's a licensed vehicle of the Transport Authority and also to make sure that they are safe in the vehicle. The need for the application, TravelPal application, came 5 or 4 years ago when the management team of the Transport Authorities tried somehow, some way to let the commuting public know that they're entering into a public passenger vehicle that is licensed, not just by looking at the red plate alone. Having a red plate on a vehicle doesn't mean that you're licensed. Yes, you have been licensed, but we want to know if you're currently licensed. So we try to find a way to let the commuting public know that they're actually entering into a currently licensed public passenger vehicle. And if not, what they can do with that as well.
The features that characterize this app are necessary for our social climate and quite revolutionary.
Features of the TravelPal application are 1, the sharing of the application, 2, the verification of the vehicle that you're going in. Once you download the application, all that's needed is the registration of your phone number. Once the registration of your phone number is done, you put in a license plate, verify the license plate information. For example, you will put in the license plate PP1234, and then you can verify the owner information, you can verify the driver information if it's available, you can verify the license information. You can then share that information with loved ones, your mother, father, whoever you want to share information with of the trip. And you can also, in the event that something happens, you can also push a panic button and share that trip information and location with loved ones as well. Those are the main features. Features that will be coming in the TravelPal application in the coming weeks or months is that we're going to be interfacing with the JCF, Jamaica Constabulary Force 119 Center. So once you push that panic button on the application, it will no longer send information only to your loved ones, but it will also send a signal into the 119 centers of the JCF as well. More features that will be coming are, for example, point system, where if you share the app multiple times, you'll be able to get, whether it be prizes or if you want to have gifts given away, we also have that as well in the application. So there are 2 main features coming.
And as for further developments with our telecommunication providers?
The agreement between our telecommunication providers right now is that they are working to make the application free. They are working to have it data free. So for example, once you have a smartphone, you don't have any data or credit on your phone, you still be able to use the application regardless of where in the country you are. So that is work in progress. It is being worked on right now with both Flow and Digicel.
And for your peace of mind, the $2.3 billion TravelPal app, which has been attracting hundreds of persons using public passenger vehicles, manages your data with high security standards.
The security of the information on the travel application is done twofold. We have a data security advisor through the company that developed the application. The licensed database is stored at the government database center locally in-house, and the storage of your location details is not done at all unless you push that panic button into the 119 center, and then that's where the 119 center will then be able to locate your information. But once you end the trip, that's the end of the storage of the data.
The Ministry of Transport and Mining's TravelPal app is creating something for the safety and security of the commuting public. The app is free to download and free to use. Let's start our route to safety today.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
As we continue today's conversation on transformation in the country, we want to look at a few developments that will create meaningful impact for the country and its people. The first, JBDC launches a new website. The Jamaica Business Development Corporation's new website will facilitate the registration of entrepreneurs who wish to register as clients online. This represents one move towards the agency's digital transformation initiative. Second, online portal to facilitate returning residents. Government has developed this user-friendly online portal to streamline the application process for Jamaicans living overseas, making it easier for them to obtain returning resident status. Third on our list, libraries to become digital learning centers. An agreement has been signed by the Jamaica Library Service to establish these learning centers across its network. This will include the provision of free internet access and technical assistance for students who use the services. Number 4, free Wi-Fi in 2 more communities. Since last week, residents in Brownstown and Windsor, St. Anne have access to free public Wi-Fi, courtesy of the Universal Service Fund. All these represent just a few of the steps that government is taking to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Today, we implore you to think of other ways you can make your contribution towards Vision 2030 and beyond. The ending of another show is upon us, but another 30 minutes of information-packed magazine is being prepared as we speak. So we'll catch you again tomorrow with more Jamaica Magazine. Continue the engagement with us on our website at www.jis.gov.jm. And just before we go, remember that as we strive towards the future we envision, let's also work to be a part of that change. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. See you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.